Hello there. Yeah, and it's here I am. It's been a minute, so just thought I'd kind of check in and do another update video. Because if you know me, I'm always pretty like I'm pretty sparse when it comes to my videos. You know me. So, but I just thought I'd pop in and just check in with you all and just just talk a little bit and see how you all are doing and just let you know how I'm doing. Um, like most videos in which I do an update, I might just say how I'm doing, maybe comment a little bit about whatever's going on that I feel is worth talking about. And well, here I am. So, well, first off, how am I doing? I'm hanging in there, just taking things day by day. See what are some things that I've been up to in recent times. Just turned 30, believe it or not. Um, February 28th, when I'm going to be 2 week, like 2 weeks this coming Monday. So I'm last time you saw me, I was in my 20s, and I'm in my 30s. Well, 3 decades old now, and I'm waiting for my mind to catch up with my age. Like I've been in my 20s for so long. It's like now I've got three instead of two. It's like, so, so that's what's up. Um, did I do anything cool for my birthday? Um, well, I kind of do a little bit of driving around. I wanted to get out and do something. Like I didn't just want to just be there. Like let's put it this way. When I turned 22, I just sat around the house all day knowing I was another year older. That's it, really. Nothing particularly eventful or surprising about that. So I didn't want it to be that. Um, so I did that. I know for one thing I went to the local pharmacy that's right up the road, and then went to the pet store real quick, and then uh, did I go to the pet store? I think I did. Yeah, but I know I also went to a Five and Below, which we got next town over. And then I also went to um a thrift store that I occasionally go to called Valley Village. I've been shopping there for years. Um, no, yeah, it was eventful. So, um, at least I didn't just sit around the house all day like I did at 22. So, um, there's that. So, I just recently went to a convention. Which one? Annapolis Comic Con. Because if you don't know me, I live in Maryland. Here, that's born and raised. Uh, Annapolis to be exact. That's where I was born. But um, it's a convention I've never been to. It's relatively like small-ish, and it's not like it's not the type of convention that you'd expect, say, like Bill Shatner or the late Stan Lee would come to, because it's a little more small and local. So, but reason which as an aside, I should let you know that's probably gonna be its own video talking about all that. So, as it is usual whenever I do go to a convention, I always do a video on it. So, um, but yeah, so I'd never been to that one before. It didn't happen in 2020 due to COVID, and didn't happen last year, I guess, for the same reason, and it happened just now uh, on March 12th. Well, it's March 13th now. I was in my time zone, so yeah. Um, so pardon me, let me adjust my computer. Sorry about that. That was just my monitor. So anyway, but yeah, so I actually just did that recently. So it's kind of the first time I've ever been to an in-state convention, because a few times I've been to AwesomeCon in Washington D.C. Um, was technically out of state. I know DC is not a state right now, but I'm sure you get my point though. Um, up until this one I'm talking about, the closest I came to doing so was a toy expo I had gone to back in November. So, but I don't know if you could really call it a convention per se, but mm, this one here I'm talking about now, it's a one full stop. So, I mean, yeah, like I said, I'll talk about that in its own video. So, yes. so I did that. Um, am I watching any shows right now? Um, I'm still watching Digimon Tamers, although I've been kind of slow in watching it lately. Although I'm at the point in time where the Digidestin are in the digital world looking for Calamon. So there's that. Um, I'm also watching Power Rangers Dino Fury because the first 10, 11 episodes dropped on Netflix because it's now going to be exclusive on that series because we first found that out. Um, yeah, I think within the last year or so because the actor who plays Javi, the Black Ranger, his name is Chance Perez. He was said in an interview that yeah, it's going to be going on the Netflix route now, and sure enough, has it out. There it is. So I've been watching that. I'm down to my last couple episodes as of right now. I've yet to watch them. I probably should. So yeah, so there's that. Um, any other shows? Yeah, there is. There's this one show on Hulu that I heard of. It's um called Everyone is Doing Great. What that show is basically about, where it's a show about where two guys did a drama called Eternals, something like that. um, and but ever since it ended, they're down on their luck. So um, I've seen about the first half of the show. I've yet to sit down and watch the second half. I'm probably going to. So, no, but I guess there is kind of a certain charm to it, based on what I've watched so far. Um, but I can't wait to finish what's left of it. So but so far, there's only been one season. Don't know if there's any others. And I don't know if there are any going to be any more seasons, but it would be kind of cool to see more. Um, interesting thing, one of the actors on the show, uh, actress, I should say, her name was Kariba Hine. She was on one of the shows I'd been watching on Netflix, called H2O, Just Out of Water. Yeah, she just. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of. I wanted to watch it, at least partly for her, because when it came to watching H2O, more than one time she made me laugh. She's pretty funny, as an actress. Not to say that the other actors on that show weren't entertaining, they were, but just I don't know. So I wanted to. I guess I kind of wanted to watch that show, at least in part because I wanted to see a little bit some of her other work because I wanted to see where her sense of humor shines. So so but still that was kind of why I got into it, but still, at least one of us seen of it. It's got a charm to it. So, um, in in an interview, she described it as like something of sort of like an opposite of like Entourage. So yeah, so if you watch that show and if you watched Entourage, what do you think of that opinion? So I don't know. So, but so far, those are some of the shows I've been watching lately. So um um if I have been speaking of TV shows and movies and all that. I guess as far as items I may have bought online like eBay, Amazon, things like that. I've picked up a few. Um, sorry for the extreme close up there. I picked up a few Power Rangers DVDs. Um, they're the ones that came out before Shout Factor did their thing and put out every season that's out there to date, except for Beast Morphers, which has yet to have a home video release in any capacity. Be nice if they did, but until then, I don't know. Everything from Mighty Morphin to Ninja Steel has been put out on home video. So the company in question is Buena Vista Home Entertainment because what they've done, they put out DVDs of everything from Ninja Storm through RPM. Basically, the bulk of the um um fuck, the Disney era. See, but the only season they ever actually bothered to complete and release here in the United States was Overdrive, and because the other seasons they were just kind of like they would just uh, put DVDs of these seasons out up to a point and then just stop. Why? No idea. Your guess is as good as mine. But even then, I would always pick up these DVDs if I didn't have one, just to add it to my collection. And even then, I'm not against picking up any of the Shout Factory stuff, but we'll see. But anyway, which ones did I pick up? Um, the two RPM DVDs that they put out. Sorry for the glare. Volume 2 of the Jungle Fury season. Oh, yeah, that Jungle Fury, yeah. um, I know they've put at least 3 more DVDs of the season out there, but they're maybe available only in the UK. Again, why? No idea. So, I guess if you have a Region 2 player or a Region 3 player, uh, or if you're someone who lives in the UK, hey, you've got those going for you, but I don't know. But then again, I guess I'm not sure what difference it'll make courtesy of Shop Factory. So, and I also got this one right here. So as of now, I've got an entire complete season of Operation Overdrive. Um, Funny thing though, the case that I came in, the one I'm using for this one, um, the case that it came in was broken. How the hell did that happen? So luckily, my dad had a set of like empty DVD cases. So I just went downstairs, got one, and then hey, here you go. So yeah, so I knew where to get one when I needed it. So funny thing too with these DVDs right here, um, I bought them all off Amazon. Amazon says that it's running late. This one, and I'm still waiting for it. When in fact, I've got this exact item right here in my hand as we speak, as I film. So how the hell is that possible? That it's telling me that I'm still waiting for it, even though I've got it. Thinking a similar deal with Star Wars Rebels. I've got all 4 seasons on home video. I bought season 4 on at Best Buy along with season 1 of Resistance. I wish they would drop season 2, but that's all different talk right there. I picked up seasons 1 through 3 off of eBay, and I did so separately. When I currently have season 1 in my possession as we speak. Yeah, eBay told me, hey, I'm still waiting for it. How the hell is that possible when I've already got that item? I don't know, man. Um, any anyway, another item I got here is the latest Bond film, No Time to Die. I wanted to just one. I wanted to see it in theaters, but I didn't get to. And well, here it's on home video now. But I sat down with my dad and watched it. We pirated it, so not illegally, but that's what we did. We downloaded it and then sat down and watched it. And yeah, I know it's been delayed several times due to COVID. Uh, so if it came out this past October, and prior to that, I got to see Spectre in theaters, and prior to that, I got to see Casino Royale in theaters. I was my first year of high school at the time. I never got to see what was it? Um, Quantum of Solace or Skyfall in theaters. I own both movies on DVD, but I even then I still have yet to see them, whether it be in theaters or on DVD or blah blah blah. But I did get to see, like I said, I got to see Spectre in theaters, which was 2015. My reasoning for doing so is I wanted to grab that opportunity while I was still there, seeing as how um, Casino Royale was the only one I'd seen in theaters up to that point, and especially since I didn't know when the next film would come out at the time. And well, therefore I got to go see it, and boom, we're good. So, so that's what's up. So I got all that. So, oh, and another thing too is got a Funko Pop. I actually bought it at 7-Eleven of all places because the one not too far up the road from my house, they had a couple things on this shelf here, a shelf, It's Sokatano, and I don't know if you can see it, but she's got two lightsabers. Uh, Assuming you have picked up this figurine, or at least seen what it looks like, her two blades, they look like they're silver, but they're actually white. So yeah, I'm not a particularly avid collector of these things, but on a whim, I decided to pick one up. So yeah, well, there you go. So I guess when it comes to collecting Funko Pops, I guess I can pop my cherry on that front. Yeah, a little crude, but whatever. But yeah, so oh, and speaking of other items too, I also picked up this earlier this year because what yeah, as mentioned, when it comes to anime, I'm a fan of Digimon here. I got a box set of everything from Adventure to Frontier. As I understand, the franchise took a hiatus for a while after Frontier, before Day Squad came around. In Japan, it's called Savers. In the franchise, the company that made this set also released Data Squad in its entirety, but um, but I always online anyway. It's a bit hard to find. If you can find it, it's kind of cheap, pricey. So it is also possible to pick it up in volume, like volume 1, volume 2, volume 3. I wouldn't mind picking up that entire set, the one that has the entire series. That the one that was made by the same company who made this. But this thing, I've got this thing right here to hold me over. It's got the first 13 episodes, but kind of wish I had the whole thing. But what can you do? I'm not sure if the entire series is available in volumes as opposed to just buy in one purchase, if you know what I mean. But there you go. So I've got all that. Um, so that's what's up in terms of some of the things in some of my life. So I'm still taking care of my dad, my grandma, and all that, and also my mom. So, um, now in terms of like what's been going on in the world as of lately, I know that since the new year started, we've had a few celebrity deaths, and we've got a lot going on in world politics. Like since the last video I did, Betty White regretfully passed away. When I did my last video, that would never have guessed that hours later we would suffer that death. Like everybody was excited about how Betty White turning 100, and then well, she died of a stroke. Well, she had it on a Christmas day, and then she croaked on the last day of the year. I know. I still remember where I was. I was in downtown Annapolis. I was checking my phone. I was on Twitter, and it's like, came across the headline: Betty White died, 99. And all the excitement of her turning 100, that didn't age well. Yeah, she was certainly a national treasure. She certainly was. So it's like when a woman live that long, it's like you almost want to think they're invincible, but it's like, damn. And then days later, Bob Saget died, and that certainly came out of nowhere. Um, and it's certainly one of those times where it reminds you, here today, gone tomorrow. And apparently, he died of head trauma. And apparently, what had happened, I guess, he hit his head, likely from a fall, and thought nothing of it. Went to bed. That was it. And And if you know anything about Bob Saget as a comic, he was very raunchy. But as a person, I've heard that he was just a very lovely man. You know, it was said that for a man of 65, that's how old he was when he died. Um, he had that vitality of someone who's half his age, and he had just went back to touring and visiting different places uh, to be a comic. Of course, he was a comedian, uh, and the last thing he ever posted on social media, he had saying that he had enjoyed that stand up that he had done, and he was in Orlando, Florida. He had just finished a set. He found that he greatly enjoyed it, and he was looking forward to doing more. And then hours later, he's gone. It's like, damn. Yeah, so, it's interesting. Uh, the YouTuber Boogie2988, he did a video talking about Bob Saget's death. And towards the end of said video, he made a rather interesting point, is that while Bob Saget may have been raunchy with this comedy, he was a very, very sweet man. You know, and on the flip side, Bill Cosby was very clean in his material. Turns out he's a real piece of work. It is kind of interesting when you think about that, and when you put that in perspective. So, you know, I guess about hearing about what kind of person he was and how what an awesome guy he was, it would be cool to maybe meet him and say, "Hey, how's it going, Bob Saget?" And I guess just may he rest in peace. And just so I guess if there's any silver lining to his passing, is that at least he died doing what he loved. And I guess I have a similar take when it comes to Betty White, is that hopefully when she died, I hope she was at least at peace with herself and with the world. So I know we've also had some other deaths too, like Louis Anderson, Meatloaf, Sidney Poitier. I know that Matt Jarbo, formerly Mundane Matt, who now does his stuff on Three Buck Theater, he occasionally does call-ins. I've done so plenty of times on both Three Buck Theater and and on Hollywood. He does Hollywood After Dark, by the way. I've done call-ins plenty of times with there and Boulder Talk Radio, his other uh, streaming show that he's done on his old channel. And I called in and I asked him, uh, when celebrities pass away, like why do we care so much? You know, I'm sure they're rich, they're famous. I'm sure most of them are nice people personally, but even then, why do we care when half the time they don't even know or exist? Us peasants. And he said this probably has something to do with how we watch their TV shows, we watch their movies, or if they're musicians that we listen to their stuff and all that. I think we sort of like form a bit of a bond with them and all that. At least if they're an actor or an actress, that we kind of connect with them through the movies they do, the TV shows they work on, the characters they play. So so I guess it kind of something to do with that. So but still, I guess why do the good ones always have to go? I don't know, man. I don't know. Um, but yeah, that's what's up. So that's what's up in the world of uh, Hollywood and all that. Now, in terms of politics, COVID's still going on 2 years later, and and as I've said before, and I'm speaking as someone who's go get vaccinated. It, it's not the work of the devil like some people think it is. The anti-vax movement is a shit cause, and it's dangerous. Go get vaxxed. Because if you get COVID without being vaccinated, it's gonna kick you in your ass. You'd be lucky if you don't die. Whereas, um, um, if you do get COVID while you're vaxxed, it won't be as bad. You may not be invincible because you are vaxxed, But you might think, oh, why should I get vaccinated if we're going to get COVID anyway? Well, there's a study out of France that shows that roughly about 90% of them not, has about a 90% chance of, like, um, not being hospitalized, not being, you know, um, not dying or something like that. Just vaccine, the COVID vaccine, they work. Go get it. I have room to talk because I, I've been vaxxed. I've been boosted. If you legit think that uh, uh, it's work of the devil, dude, what the fuck are you listening to? Who are you listening to? Well, they're wrong and you are wrong. You'll get vaxxed. Okay? So, yeah, so, like I said, COVID is still around, and, you know, at first we had the main strain of that's going on right now. Then we had the Delta, and then we've got Omicron. Kind of wonder which strain is next. Um, yeah. So, and it's also kind of funny how people will go get every other vaccine in the book, but it's but one related to COVID is a bridge too far with some people, especially when you consider how people eat and drink all sorts of unhealthy shit, but yet at a vaccine in the middle of a pandemic, somehow I ain't doing it. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. So yeah, so is there anything else worth talking about? Like, I know I've heard about, like, throughout most of February, there were some people who were like musicians and other people who are on Spotify who were protesting it because of Joe Rogan and all that, uh, and because he said he's been kind of a meathead when it comes to COVID and vaccines and all that. He's had COVID himself and he survived. I'm glad he did. I'm glad he's feeling better. But yeah, dude, he was being kind of a meathead and all that. So he said he's going to try and have more scientific people on, or at least more pro-vaccine people who knew what they're talking about. Especially since I know that he's had two anti-vax doctors, um, Malone and McAuliffe, and something like that. Yeah, that's their names. So I don't know. So it's kind of funny, like, how we went from Rogan Gate to what's currently going on right now in the Middle East. I'll get to that in a moment. So, and I don't hate Rogan personally. I'm sure he's a nice guy, and he's fun to listen to. And I've listened to him here and there, depending on who's had on. At least back when some of his, at least before he went strictly to Spotify. But still, that was kind of irresponsible of him. Knowing how he's one of the biggest podcasts out there, if not the biggest. So, but no, that was kind of irresponsible for him to be just so reckless and careless, and then just knowing a lot of people listen to him and how he's got a lot of influence. He's got a lot of fans. So, yeah. So, speaking of the Middle East, going on 3 weeks from now, uh, th- 3 weeks coming up, I guess, Russia's been invading Ukraine. I have worried about it. War, has been ingrained in the DNA of planet Earth since the dawn of time. And in my 30 years on this big blue marble, this was the first one I felt like I've worried about in some way or another because you know, because given who's doing what, Vladimir Putin invading Ukraine, they've got nukes. Then again, so do we. So does North Korea, but then again, that's North Korea. Um, we're dancing, we're playing with fire when it comes to nuclear weapons. You know, we could be at World War III if one wrong move moves right. made, because we're fucked. Look how long it's been since World War II. Yeah. Nuclear weaponry has been, I'm sure, it's been a lot more advanced since the 40s compared to now. So, yeah, I just hope to hell that we can find, uh, uh, and I just hope that peace talks can bring about peace and that uh, uh, and and then Putin can just, can just fuck right off in terms of invading another country that he thinks is his, which when in fact, no, they fucking aren't. Ukraine is its own country. So is Russia. So you know, look at Russia. Like, I'm not anti Russia, and that at least in that I don't have a xenophobic view towards them. I'm sure over in that Russia itself has got some awesome people over there. In terms of the government, yeah, but then again, I'm not saying I don't come to be an expert on the Russian government, but whatever. Putin, not a good dude. So, um, you have to hand it to President Biden for at least saying, hey, we're not gonna um put boots on the ground because that would be an act of war. At least do it at the very least be escalating things. So, and then even then, I say that even in light of the fact that he's kind of kept the status quo going in terms of foreign policy. So so but yeah, speaking of Biden and all, given what all has been going on, what have you, and I know that speaking of which, I know he's been slapping some sanctions on, um, based on what I've heard Kyle Kalinske say, because he is one of as far as politics, I listen to him quite regularly. He said that he would be in favor of the kind of sanctions that would go after the oligarchs and all that, but don't do it when it comes to regular people because they have nothing to do with all this. They did nothing wrong. And that's true. They have nothing at all to do with this. And then but some of the sanctions that we have been using have been um, having them suffer and all that. So and I'm I know that the Korean people I'm sure are suffering as well. And a lot of people have been dying. So, but I don't know. So just I just hope something works out for the better, and with little bloodshed as possible. And I'm speaking as someone who not only as someone who's anti-war and vehemently so, but on a human level and on a geopolitical level. So, but then again, I'm no expert on geopolitics or foreign policy. Uh, I'm just a voter, and I'm just a regular dude who votes. So, speaking of Biden, you know, for anyone who says like, oh, oh, this is your fault because you voted for Biden, and you know that this could very well have happened or to any other president. Could have what if it happened under, say, Trump or Obama or Bush or Clinton or whomever. Um, Anyone who voted for whomever, would it have been their fault? Would it have been the fault of Trump voters, Obama voters, Bush voters? Whose fault would it have been? But because it happened under Biden, how is it the fault of Biden voters? I mean, given how the status quo has been maintained in front of foreign policy, maybe someone who, like myself, who did vote for Biden, albeit reluctantly, I'm sure I do have some blood on my hands. I don't think, uh, I don't think the whole Russia thing is an example because could have happened under any other president or any other or of all the Democrats who ran for president this last cycle, any one of them could have been got elected instead of Biden, and and it could have still happened. It would have been the fault of any of one of them. Like I supported Bernie, and if he were president and the same thing happened, would it be the fault of Bernie supporters, or would it be the fault of Andrew Yang supporters, Tulsi Gabbard, Kamala Harris, uh, Mayor Pete, Amy Klobuchar, who would have been the fault of any one of the supporters of those candidates. Or I don't know. I want could have just happened under any other president, but since it happened under Biden, you know, how is it their fault? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong in thinking that, but I will say that I'm always speaking for myself. Yes, I voted for Biden. Yes, I took no joy in doing so. But I at least had principal reasonings for doing so, and I've said so before. I had three reasons: healthcare, climate change, the Iran deal. He at least got us back into the Paris Climate Accord. Good on him for that. But then again, we should be having a Green New Deal. The Paris Agreement is basically just like a band-aid on a gaping wound. Because fun fact, climate change is a thing. So um so but and I think it's got another Keystone XL. I think it did have something to do with exacerbating climate change, and good on him for getting out of it. All those, it's fucking up the jobs, but just, I don't know. Maybe I should look into that more. But if he was, um, if he got out of it as a way of mitigating climate change, awesome. So, but I don't know. Um, but still, I don't know. So, what was as far as healthcare? I know he doesn't believe in single payer. I wish he did, but yeah, he said he was going to get us a public option. So far, he's only vaguely expanded Obamacare, and he has subsidized Cobra. And he said he was going to get back in the Iran deal. He's been fucking up on that. So those were at least three reasons why I voted for Biden. I've say what you will about anybody who voted for Biden, but I'm only speaking for myself. I'm my own spokesperson. I know why I voted for him. I was principled in doing so. Nobody speaks for me. I speak for me. I vote for who I vote for. You don't like it? If I'm an idiot for voting for Biden, then okay, I'm an idiot. But I still stand by my principles. I know my principles better than anybody else. So don't presume to tell me why I did or didn't do something, or don't presume to tell me. But don't presume to think you know my principles better than I do. All right, say what you about voting for Biden or why I did so or why anybody else did so. But I know why I did it. I still stand by my principles. So I don't know who I'll vote for in the 2024 race, but we'll see what happens, and we'll see if I actually a particular candidate I like. And same goes for the governor's race here in Maryland, but I don't know. So, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, but so I guess with all that said, it's going on 39 minutes. I almost 40. I should probably hop off now. So I guess I'm sure there's probably gonna be something I forgot to talk about after I'm done filming this video. But for everything I've said thus far, thanks for listening. Appreciate y'all. And so I guess rate, comment, subscribe, and see you next time. Bye, guys.